Cristiano Ronaldo. You definitely know the name. You've probably heard that Sioux celebration a million times. But, beyond all the fame and the records, who really is the man they call CR7?
So that's the real question, isn't it? How does a kid from this tiny little island, Madeira, Portugal, somehow become one of the most famous people, well, ever? That's the incredible story we're going to get into. Let's just start with a number that's almost hard to wrap your head around. Over 960 official career goals. I mean, to put that into perspective, he's recognized as the top goal scorer in the entire history of soccer. This is way beyond just being good. It's a level of performance year after year that just completely changed what we thought was even possible. And then there's his life off the field. With over 1 billion followers across all the major social media platforms, he was the very first person on the planet to hit that milestone. See, he's not just an athlete, he's a legit global cultural icon. But here's the thing. As wild as those numbers are, they don't even tell half the story. To really get the whole Ronaldo phenomenon, you have to look at the journey itself. The unbelievable struggles, the setbacks that could have ended his career before it even started, and this relentless, almost obsessive drive that really created the legend. And that journey, well, it begins in a place that's a world away from the bright lights of Madrid or Manchester. It all starts on that small island, Madeira, right in the middle of the Atlantic.
This picture gives you a little hint of his humble beginnings, but the reality was even tougher than you can imagine. He grew up in poverty. His mom was a cook and a cleaner, and his dad, a gardener, really struggled with alcoholism after coming back from a war. And get this, Ronaldo shared just one single room with all 3 of his siblings. It was far from an easy start. Then, when he was just 15 years old, the whole dream almost came to a screeching halt. He was diagnosed with tachycardia, basically a racing heart condition that needed laser surgery. And what's just incredible is that he was out of the hospital just hours after the procedure and was back on the training pitch in a matter of days. That kind of mental strength at that age, it's just astounding. And it's a theme you'll see again and again throughout his entire life. So when he finally arrived at Manchester United in 2003, the impact was, well, immediate. This quote from the legend himself, George Best, one of the club's greatest players ever, it says everything you need to know. For a giant like Best to pay that kind of compliment to an 18-year-old kid, yeah, it was pretty clear something special had just landed in Manchester. So this period at Manchester United, with the iconic manager Sir Alex Ferguson taking him under his wing, this is where all that raw, explosive talent was carefully molded into a player who could truly dominate the world. And just look at this timeline. It shows you how fast he shot to the top. He signs in 2003 for a record fee for a teenager. Just 4 years later, he's a Premier League champion. And then only 1 year after that, at just 23, he conquers Europe, winning the Champions League and his very first Ballon d'Or as the world's best player. The whole thing was just meteoric. And this, right here, was the key change. He came in as this flashy winger who people criticized for doing too many elaborate step-overs. They kind of called him a show pony. But under Sir Alex Ferguson, all that flair got channeled into something devastatingly effective. He went from just entertaining the fans to winning games all by himself. That transformation from entertainer to pure executioner, well, that set the stage for the next and arguably even more legendary chapter of his career, becoming an absolute goal-scoring machine at Real Madrid. So in 2009, Real Madrid didn't just break the world transfer record, they completely shattered it, paying 94 million euros to sign him. The pressure must have been astronomical. But for Ronaldo, it seems like pressure has always been his fuel. And at Real Madrid, his goal scoring just went to another planet. In La Liga, Spain's top league, he scored an unbelievable 311 goals. And he did it in just 292 games. Just let that sink in for a second. He averaged more than a goal every single game for 9 straight seasons. That kind of consistency is it's unheard of in modern soccer. And all that personal brilliance, it led directly to team glory. We're talking 4 Champions League titles, including an incredible 3 in a row. He became the club's all-time leading goal scorer and picked up 4 more Ballon d'Or awards. This wasn't just a great player having a great run. This was an entire era of pure, uncut dominance. But after reaching the absolute top of the mountain in Spain, a point where, let's be honest, most players would start thinking about winding down,
Ronaldo went looking for new mountains to climb.
And here is what really sets him apart from almost everyone else: his ability to adapt and dominate absolutely everywhere he goes. So after being the top scorer in England and Spain, he went and conquered Italy's notoriously tough Serie A. Then, in his late 30s, he did it again in Saudi Arabia. Nobody else in history has ever been the top goal scorer in 4 different top-flight leagues. It's just incredible.
His move to Juventus in Italy was historic all on its own. 100 million euros for a player over 30 it was unheard of. But of course, he delivered, winning 2 league titles and basically proving to the entire world that for him, age was just another number, another record to break. But Ronaldo's story isn't just about what happened on the pitch. It's about how he went beyond the sport to become a global brand, a phenomenon known all over the world simply as CR7. For more than a decade, really, world soccer was defined by one question: Ronaldo or Messi? Their unbelievable rivalry pushed both of them to heights we can barely imagine, with each one's success just fueling the other to be even better. They were the 2 titans who absolutely defined an entire era. And if there was one final mountain he had loved to climb, it was finding glory with his country. And in 2016, he captained Portugal to victory at the European Championship. It was the nation's first ever major international trophy, a moment of just unbelievable pride that sealed his legacy as a true national hero.
Which brings us right back to where we started, his incredible influence. That amazing combination of success on the field and this compelling personal story created a marketing giant. He's not just the most popular athlete on social media, he's one of the most influential people on the planet, period.
So what does that all mean? Is he the ultimate athlete? A marketing genius? His journey from poverty in Madeira to being a global superstar is so much more than a sports story. It's really a testament to unbelievable self-belief and a work ethic that is second to none. So the only real question left is, what do you think his true legacy is?